Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. The Canadiens prevail in the TD Garden against the Boston Bruins 6-2. They do so for the first time since the 2019 season, so definitely getting the monkey off of our back in that regard. A good game overall. I think I have a little bit of reservations about this one. In my opinion, the first period was just completely terrible for the Canadiens. It did not go well at all for them, but credit to them, they were able to kind of change the momentum, change the narrative around the game going into the second, and then it definitely into the third period, and that really is what gave them the win. There's their ability to bounce back a little bit. So but yeah, I mean, like, definitely a big win. As I said in the last video, this is definitely a game that we needed to win here. Two teams very, very close together in that Atlantic Division race, and we create a little bit of separation, at least against the Boston Bruins, but against the rest of the pack as well. We are currently sitting second in the Atlantic as we go into the Christmas break, behind only the Detroit Red Wings, who won in overtime tonight as well. So pretty solid. I mean, we end, this first little bit, these first 37 games, we go 20, 12, and 5 for a total of 45 points, 13 regulation wins. Obviously, the overtime wins accounting for the rest of those as well. But yeah, I feel like, we're in a solid spot, and obviously not a spot that we were in this time last season, so a definite improvement. And obviously, we're not even halfway through the season, so there's a lot of work yet to be done for the Canadiens if they want to stay, in the conversation for one of the best teams in the league. But as of right now, they're doing a great job of putting themselves in that conversation. They are currently number 6 in overall league standings, behind Colorado, Dallas, Minnesota, Carolina, and Detroit. So really impressive for them. I feel like there's definitely a lot of things that I'll go into a little bit later that the Canadiens can definitely do to clean up their game a little bit, be a little bit better throughout a full 60 minutes. And obviously that full 60-minute performance is what we've been talking about a lot throughout all of these videos this season. But there's definitely things they can clean up. But overall, I like to go 20 for 37 in overall wins, and then get 5 loser points in overtime. There is pretty solid. Can't complain too much. And we're kind of like separating ourselves a little bit from the rest of the pack here. Tampa right below us. Obviously, they have a game in hand on us, but they're 2 points behind. Florida also 3 points behind. Ottawa, Boston, down 4 points behind us at this point. So we definitely made a little bit of separation by having a nice few games here, getting points. We're on a bit of a point streak as well. Obviously, we lost our previous game against Pittsburgh. We did get a point in that one, so we have points in our last couple games at least. So going back to Philadelphia, that game was the last game we did not get points in. So we're doing pretty well. I feel like we're having some decent success here. We're putting ourselves in a playoff position, and as I said before, that's not something that we were doing at this point in the season last year. We were definitely down towards the bottom of the league and had to claw our way back out after that post Four Nations kind of situation. So definitely a good position to be in. It just the question is where do we go from here? Are we going to clean up our act a little bit? Are we going to stay healthy? Obviously, Alexandre Texier goes down with what appeared to be an upper body injury today and did not return. So we'll have to see how that goes. Hopefully, it's not super long term. We haven't heard much from what's going on with Jake Evans either. That doesn't necessarily sound great to me. I'm kind of holding my breath, waiting for a surgery announcement for Jake Evans for something like the MCL or something like that in the knee. So we'll have to wait and see what goes on there. But definitely health is a big deal for this team going forward with already somewhat of a crippled roster here. You can definitely tell that the guys that are playing are playing through injuries as well, like Nick Suzuki, who had a good night tonight. He's been having a great season thus far, but I feel like I think Habs fans who've been watching the Canadiens for a number of years now, since Nick Suzuki got to Montreal, he does not necessarily look as good or as powerful as he has in previous seasons, especially at the end of last season. He was playing at the top of his game at that point, and I don't really feel like we're seeing that same version of him right now that we saw this time, or even like at the end of last season. So definitely got to cross our fingers on the injury front here both for Texier and all the guys who are currently injured, but then all the guys who are currently in the lineup that we need to have stay healthy for as long as possible. But anyway, going into tonight's game, obviously Sammy Blais got his first as a Canadian, and not his first point, but his first goal as a Canadian. A nice little shot there. I mean, kind of a Cole Caulfield-esque shot from, kind of on the goal line. He found Swayman kind of cheating down on one leg there. Or he's down, on both of his knees, and found some room upstairs where he was able to ricochet it off the back of Swayman's shoulder helmet area, and put it into the top corner there. So a really nice shot from him, and that definitely got us going a little bit there. As I said before, I did not think that the Canadiens' first period was very impressive at all. There were a lot of mistakes that we were making. Lane Hudson at one point had like a wide open look at the net and decided to pass it right to a Boston Bruins player, which sparked essentially a 2-on-0, which Jacob Fowler had to come up big on. But a lot of just like missed opportunities to get the puck out of the zone. Obviously, Mike Matheson, kind of turns the puck over, which leads to that initial goal for Boston, just like a lazy backhand. And that's something that I've been talking about a lot this season, is just our inability to get pucks out of the zone. I really felt like that was on display in that first period tonight. The power play didn't look great either. I don't understand. Martin St. Louis makes absolutely no sense to me with some of these coaching decisions. He took Ivan Demonov, who has been a catalyst to make this power play one of the best power plays in the NHL right now. He took him off the first unit in place of a Zachary Bolduc, which I get it. I think what he's going for is the fact that Bolduc plays better away from the Bell Center. He's been scoring away from the Bell Center recently. Obviously, he recently scored 2 on Bell Center ice like a week or so ago, but maybe that's the decision. I just don't understand. Obviously, he's a young kid. He's a little bit undisciplined when he was on the power play. Tonight, he did get a hooking call. I understand that, but at the same time, we had him on the 5-on-3, and we scored 2 goals because he was generating chances, and he got points off of that. So I just don't really understand what that idea is, but from my view anyway, pretty much everything other than the Sammy Blais goal in that first period was just god-awful for the Canadiens. It did not feel like we were going to win that game. Coming out of that first period down by 1, it's just things weren't going well in either end of the ice. It didn't really look like we had the jump. Those 2 fights that we had off the opening face-off and then Jack Ice fight, both low-key losses for for the Canadiens. But either way, it just didn't really feel like we had it going at that point. And even in the second period, it didn't really seem like we got anywhere at all. But yeah, I don't know. So, but Blais scores 1. It's a nice goal. Hudson gets himself his 28th assist of the season, and Dobson his 15th assist of the season. So nice job by that those 3 players there to create that goal, which ended up being the first goal of the game. And then we led up 1 to Boston off of what I said before, that Mike Matheson turnover, just a bad lazy backhand pass that needs to be off the glass or something like that, or just get it to the forehand or whatever to get that puck out of the zone. We can't have stuff like that happening. So, and then Alex Steves scores in the dying seconds of the first period on a power play. Yeah, it's just frustrating. Those are just all of the goals that Boston scored, and pretty much every chance that Boston had tonight was just off of our own mistakes. They were able to capitalize on the errors and the chances that we gave them. They didn't really earn a whole lot tonight. We were able to give them a lot of what they got in this one. So, but moving into the second period, Ivan Demonov shows up his electric hands. It was just kind of a mistake from Boston that we were able to take advantage of. They're just a pass in the neutral zone, kind of just got I don't know, it ended up just kind of floating right into the middle of the neutral zone in between 2 defensemen, and Demonov was building up speed coming into the neutral zone from our defensive zone. He was able to just pick off that kind of errant pass and goes in on a breakaway. It was a clear-cut breakaway, and he puts the forehand backhand shimmy move on Jeremy Swayman, and he's able to tuck that in. So it's a very nice play, backhand forehand. Apologies, he's a left-handed player, but anyway, he's able to put on a nice move there and score this. So that was a really impressive one, and that really got us back in the game, I feel I feel like we were not like coming into that second period. We didn't look great either. Things were not like going the way that we wanted them to. And then Demidov scores that one, and I feel like it kind of got us back into the game a little bit. It helped us kind of like get a little bit more grounded, all that kind of stuff, and we were able to finish out that second period tied at 2. The Boston Bruins did score with like 4 seconds remaining in that second period, but it was definitely goaltender interference. Pastrnak pushes Slafkovsky like right into to Fowler, and and then they score like literally immediately after, and then the fans are complaining about it. But I don't know, like it's just like it's textbook. I mean, like obviously in a world where goaltender interference is so vague. I feel like both of the goaltender interference like maybes that happened tonight were so very cut and dry, where it was like Pastrnak literally pushes our guy into our goalie, preventing him from playing the puck, and then they score right away. So a good call by the refs to make sure that was waved off. They didn't even take a challenge. They literally just immediately were like, nope, that's not a goal. So and they didn't challenge that one either. So that kind of we got away with one a little bit there, all things considered, because they definitely put some pressure on there that we had to fight off, and then they did score, but we got away with that. And then in the third period, we really cracked it all open. Zachary Bolduc scores his 10th of the season. Nick Suzuki and Hudson get their 31st and 29th assists respectively on that goal. It's just another opportunity. We just take advantage of the errors of Boston there. It's just the defenseman kind of broke his stick, and the pass kind of went just like errantly towards one of our guys, and then Hudson gets the puck and threads it over to Nick Suzuki. Nick Suzuki tries to go to the backhand, and Swayman like trips him up, but doesn't really matter because Bolduc is right there to put home the rebound. They did challenge this one as well, but another one, in my opinion, is just very cut and dry. Like Swayman comes out to challenge Suzuki and takes the legs out from under him with his pad, and then we score anyway. So they challenged this one, and I feel like this one was even more obvious than the first one that it was not goaltender interference. Like I just feel like Swayman is literally the one that initiated the contact and tripped our guy. So if anything, it should be a penalty on him. But either way, it counts, and we get ourselves a power play after that, which becomes a 5-on-3 because of, I think it was like a hooking or something like that happened right after that. And that helped us out really nice. It was actually a cross check on Bolduc, which was very, very undisciplined play by the Bruins as well. I felt like it was just a very unnecessary penalty to take. Bolduc was just kind of like skating back towards our bench, and then just got like mobbed by 3 guys, and Janot cross checked him. Like there was just like a very unnecessary penalty for them to take, especially when they were already on the penalty kill. So maybe they're just frustrated by the physicality of the game or what have you, but very undisciplined, but we were able to take full advantage of that on the 5-on-3. Dobson breaks his stick on a slap shot attempt from Demidov, but Cole Caulfield gets the kind of rebound that came from that, and does literally, if you watch it back, Cole Caulfield does 8 stick handles and then tucks it 5-hole through Jeremy Swayman. Go watch that goal back. It is absolutely ridiculous. He literally stick handles it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then tucks it in the 5-hole. Absolutely ridiculous hands from Cole Caulfield, and he makes no mistake on that, and that ended up being really good insurance for us. I mean, obviously it didn't matter because Boston never scored after that second goal in the first period. But yeah, a nice power play goal. Dobson gets his 16th assist of the season. Demidov his 21st assist of the season. So very nice from both of those guys to get those points. And then Nick Suzuki scores not that long after with a nice little baseball move there. A little, he takes a swing for a home run there. Just another shot that comes in from Dobson. I love to see Dobson just putting the puck on net. I feel like we don't do that enough as a team. So it's good to see him getting pucks to the net. Slafkovsky, I don't know if he tipped it or not, because it came from Demidov made the pass to Dobson, who shot it. And then Slafkovsky gets the primary assist on this one, so it looks like he does tip this one. And then Nick Suzuki, as the puck is kind of floating in the air after that tip, he's able to have some discipline as well, because it definitely could have been a high stick if he wasn't careful, but he waits for the puck to get kind of waist height, and he bats it into the wide open net, gets his 11th of the season there. Slavkovsky his 14th assist, and Dobson his third point of the game, as well as his 17th assist on the season. So very nice from both of those guys there, or all three of those guys, and that really put the game to bed there. I mean, 5-2 on what was another 5-on-3 as well, because I think it was Lindholm got like the most like egregious tripping call. It was one of those, and it's like one of those ones where it's like, like he's going for a poke check and he misses, and he gets both skates of Kapanen and takes him down. So we'll take those all day for sure. But that gave us another 5-on-3. After that, we scored to eliminate the 5-on-3, and then we still had that one cross-checking penalty to work with, and then we get a tripping call, which gives us another 5-on-3, and we capitalize on that one as well. And then Juraj Slavkovsky, just for good measure, gets himself a nice little, it was a nice little like kind of back and forth situation where Slavkovsky was kind of on the right side of the net. He does like a spinorama pass looking for Demidov in the slot and misses him, but finds Hudson, who just gives it right back to Slavkovsky, and he's going to one-time this one right past Swayman into the net for his 11th goal of the season. Hudson hits the 30 assist mark as well, so very impressive for him. He's having a great season. I didn't think he had a great first period. I think for the team, as well as Lane Hudson in particular, I feel like that was one of the worst periods I've seen from him specifically, which is saying a lot considering how good he's been. Like there's not a whole lot of bad things to point out about what Lane Hudson has done this season and even last season, but he was able to definitely pick things up, and he gets himself a 3-assist night as well. So everybody's kind of padding the stats a little bit tonight, which is good. And that's kind of how the game ended. That was pretty much it after that. So a very nice game. I feel like what started as a very not great effort, in my opinion, especially in the first half of the game ish, we were able to kind of tilt the tide. And I think the biggest thing about this game that allowed the Canadiens to win is we took advantage of the mistakes that Boston was giving us. I think we definitely could have even scored more. There was like a 4-minute double minor that Dobson drew on a high sticking. We didn't score or really even threaten on any of that opportunity at all. So it definitely could have been even worse for the Bruins there, but we were able to capitalize on a large majority of the chances, especially in the second half of the game, and that is what gave us the win tonight. So a pretty good game overall. We get 29 shots on goal, so another game where the Canadiens fail to shoot 30 times. We definitely could have done way more than that. I think it's still a big issue for this team that we need to put more pucks towards the net, especially guys like Demidov and Hudson, who are very addicted to making the perfect pass and sometimes just need to rip the puck. So, but either way, I think, like discipline is definitely something that you can look at with this game, and we got to be a little bit better on that one, especially in the first half of this game. We definitely got a lot of penalties. We had, like 4 penalties. There's a fight in there as well, but definitely some undisciplined play, but Boston kind of equaled that one out in the second half of the game as well, which gave us that needed win as well. So overall, I feel like like it's a game where we didn't necessarily play amazing throughout the full 60 minutes, but we were able to take advantage of our chances, and that is the big difference in this one. So so now we're kind of just looking forward to the rest of the season. We got the Christmas break coming up as well. And the Canadiens will return to play at 4 p.m. on Sunday the 28th against the Tampa Bay Lightning. So another big game here coming out of the other side of the Christmas break against another team who is really pushing to take our spot in that playoff spot there, that second in the Atlantic spot. So another game that we'd love to get some points in. Continue to push some separation between us and the competition there, solidify ourselves as playoff contenders here. So but it'll be nice for the Canadiens to have a couple days off, especially for maybe if some guys are dealing with some ailments. We have a couple days off to kind of recuperate from that. Also very nice to go into the Christmas break with a Canadiens win. It's the only thing better than having the Christmas break in the first place is doing it after a win. So so that's pretty much all I've got on this one. This is a game that didn't necessarily start great, but we were able to take advantage of the opportunities we were given, and we were able to put in 6 for I think maybe the only like the second or third time this entire season. So very, very sweet to do that against our rival Boston Bruins. And yeah, so another big game coming up here, but that is all that I have for you guys. So if you celebrate, have a very Merry Christmas, and I will see you guys after the game on Sunday.